Have you ever noticed subtle changes in yourself or a loved one that made you pause and wonder if something deeper might be going on? Maybe it's a shift in energy levels, a change in appetite, or even a difference in how they engage with the world around them. These changes can be easy to brush off as just part of getting older, but sometimes they might be gentle whispers from life, hinting at something more significant. Today we're going to talk about something that's not always easy to discuss but is incredibly important: the subtle signs that an elderly person may be in their final year of life. These aren't meant to alarm you, but rather to help you understand what to look for so you can provide the best care, love, and support during this tender time. Now, I know this topic might feel heavy, but my goal here is to approach it with warmth, understanding, and practicality. By being aware of these signs, you can make sure that your loved one, or even yourself, feels as comfortable, supported, and cherished as possible. So let's dive in and explore the first few signs together. The first sign we'll talk about is a noticeable decline in energy and activity levels. Now, it's natural for energy to ebb and flow as we age, but when someone who used to enjoy daily walks, gardening, or even just puttering around the house suddenly seems too tired to do much of anything, it can be a sign that their body is slowing down in a more profound way. You might notice they're spending more time resting, napping frequently, or even struggling to stay awake during conversations. This isn't laziness or a lack of interest. It's often the body's way of conserving energy for the most essential functions. If you see this happening, it's a good idea to create a calm, restful environment for them and to be patient with their need for extra downtime. Another sign to be aware of is a change in eating habits. Have you ever noticed that someone who used to love their meals suddenly seems indifferent to food, or maybe they're eating much smaller portions than they used to? This can be a difficult one to witness, especially if you're used to sharing meals or cooking for them. But as the body prepares for its final stages, it often requires less energy, which means less hunger. It's not uncommon for elderly individuals to lose interest in food or even forget to eat altogether. If this happens, try not to force them to eat. Instead, focus on offering small nutrient-dense snacks or their favorite foods when they do feel like eating. The goal here is comfort, not quantity. The third sign we'll explore is a shift in social interactions. You might notice that your loved one is withdrawing from activities they once enjoyed or seems less interested in spending time with family and friends. This can be heartbreaking to witness, especially if they were once the life of the party or always the first to suggest a family gathering. But this withdrawal isn't about rejection. It's often a natural part of the process as they begin to turn inward, reflecting on their life and preparing emotionally for what's to come. If you notice this happening, try to meet them where they are. Spend quiet, meaningful time together, even if it's just sitting side by side, holding hands or sharing stories. Sometimes the most powerful connections happen in the stillness. Now, I know these signs can feel overwhelming, but remember, being aware of them is the first step toward providing the kind of care and compassion that truly matters. In the next part, we'll explore a couple more signs to look out for, as well as some practical ways to support your loved one during this time. For now, take a deep breath and know that you're not alone in this journey. Together, we'll navigate this with kindness, understanding, and love. As we continue this conversation, I want to remind you that noticing these signs isn't about predicting the future or dwelling on the inevitable. It's about being present, being aware, and making the most of the time we have with our loved ones. So, let's move forward with that mindset as we explore a couple more subtle signs that an elderly person may be in their final year. The fourth sign to be mindful of is changes in sleep patterns. Now, we all know that sleep can become a bit more elusive as we age. Maybe it's harder to fall asleep, or we wake up more frequently during the night. But what we're talking about here is a more significant shift. You might notice that your loved one is sleeping much more than usual, sometimes even drifting off in the middle of a conversation or during activities they used to enjoy. On the flip side, some people might experience restlessness or difficulty sleeping at all, often due to discomfort or anxiety. These changes in sleep patterns can be a sign that the body is conserving energy, or that the mind is processing the transition ahead. If you notice this, Try to create a peaceful sleep environment for them. Soft lighting, calming music, or even just sitting with them as they rest can make a world of difference. Another sign to watch for is a decline in cognitive function. This one can be particularly challenging because it often feels like you're losing a piece of the person you love. You might notice that they're more confused than usual, struggling to remember names or events, or even having difficulty following conversations. They might repeat stories or ask the same questions over and over. While this can be frustrating at times, it's important to approach it with patience and compassion. This decline isn't something they can control. It's often a natural part of the body slowing down. Instead of correcting them or trying to jog their memory, try to meet them where they are. If they repeat a story, listen as if it's the first time you're hearing it. If they seem confused, gently guide them back to the present moment without making them feel embarrassed or frustrated. These small acts of kindness can mean the world to them. Now, I know these signs can feel heavy, but let's take a moment to acknowledge the beauty in this stage of life too. Even as the body and mind begin to slow down, there's an opportunity for deep connection and love. It's a time to cherish the moments you have together, whether that's sharing a quiet cup of tea, reminiscing about old times, or simply sitting in comfortable silence. These moments are precious, and they're what truly matter in the end. As we move into the next part of our conversation, we'll explore the final signs to look out for, as well as some practical ways to support your loved one during this tender time. For now, take a moment to reflect on what we've discussed so far. If any of these signs resonate with you, know that you're not alone. This journey can be challenging, but it's also an opportunity to show up with love, compassion, and grace. And remember, you're doing the best you can, and that's more than enough. Let's keep moving forward together. As we come to the final part of our conversation, I want to thank you for being here and for having the courage to explore this tender topic. It's not easy to think about the final stages of life, whether it's for a loved one or even for ourselves. But by understanding these signs, we can approach this time with greater compassion, awareness, and love. So let's gently move forward and explore the last couple of signs that may indicate an elderly person is in their final year. The fifth sign to be aware of is physical changes that go beyond the usual aches and pains of aging. You might notice that your loved one's skin becomes cooler to the touch, especially in their hands and feet. Their complexion might appear paler or even slightly bluish, particularly around the lips and nail beds. These changes happen as circulation slows down and the body begins to focus its energy on the most vital organs. You might also notice that they're losing weight without trying, or that their muscles seem weaker. These physical changes can be difficult to witness, but they're a natural part of the body's process. During this time, comfort is key. Soft blankets, warm socks, and gentle touch can all help them feel cozy and cared for. The sixth and final sign we'll discuss is a sense of emotional or spiritual readiness. This one is a bit harder to define because it's deeply personal, but you might notice that your loved one seems to be reflecting on their life more than usual. They might talk about memories from their childhood, express gratitude for the people in their life, or even mention loved ones who have passed on. Some people might become more introspective, while others might seem at peace, as if they've come to terms with their journey. This emotional readiness can be a beautiful thing to witness, even though it's bittersweet. It's a reminder that life is about more than just the physical body. It's about the connections we make, the love we share, and the legacy we leave behind. Now that we've explored all 5 signs, I want to take a moment to reflect on what this means for you as a caregiver, family member, or friend. First and foremost, it's important to remember that you're not alone in this journey. There are resources, support groups, and professionals who can help you navigate this time with grace and compassion. Don't hesitate to reach out for help when you need it, whether it's for practical advice, emotional support, or just someone to listen. Secondly, I want to encourage you to focus on the present moment. It's easy to get caught up in worry or sadness, but try to find moments of joy and connection wherever you can. Maybe it's sharing a favorite meal, listening to their favorite music, or simply holding their hand and telling them how much they mean to you. These small acts of love can have a profound impact, both for them and for you. Finally, I want to leave you with this thought: while this stage of life can be challenging, it's also an opportunity to show up with love, kindness, and grace. You have the power to make a difference in your loved one's life, even in these final moments. And when the time comes, you'll be able to look back and know that you did everything you could to make their journey as peaceful and meaningful as possible. Thank you for being here and for caring so deeply. If this conversation resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, please consider liking it and subscribing to the channel for more content like this. Remember, you're not alone, and together we can navigate life's challenges with love and compassion. Here's to living and loving fully, no matter what stage of life we're in. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.